Start climbing 30 to 60 feet a minute. Go very slow. 30 to 60 feet a minute. And we'll be showing that heart rate periodically. Alright, at this steady rate of exercise, Josh is 13 seconds into his movement and he's utilizing 4.9 milliliters. 10.8. We're going to see how high can this go to this amount of muscle mass being activated. And you can see his degree of hip flexion, the hip extension with upper body involvement. We've got more continuous muscle mass being used than when we were doing the individual circuits. Josh is up to 11.2 milliliters, 12.1. He's steadily going up. All right, Josh. Start climbing 60 to 80. Start climbing 60 to 80. Now 60 to 80 is more mechanical work, which is going to cause more muscle fiber to be active. And he's up to 13.2 milliliters. 14.8. So you can see as I give Josh more mechanical work, we're looking to see how does he respond in delivering and using oxygen, and you can see it's linearly going up. He's at 16.7 milliliters, 18 milliliters. Now this 18 milliliters, if I ask Josh how hard this feels in comparison to what he was doing, he's going to tell you, well, it doesn't feel as strenuous. And you can look at his RQ, where he was 1.0 before, his RQ now is 0.61.
What exactly is an RQ?
RQ is showing us where lactic acid starts to accumulate. So our bodies produce lactic acid even at rest, but our bodies can oxidize it. Now when you start to exercise in any manner that exceeds 1.0, that's a point that limits exercise from being continuous. And when Josh was doing those circuit movements, he got heavily above the 1.0 within a minute and a half, which made him have to start to slow down, and you saw muscle failure occur.
So 1.0 is pretty much muscle failure.
1.0
and muscle failure occurs because of lactic acid, right?
Accumulation.
Accumulation, okay.
So if we try to do something that has to be sustained for long durations, you don't want to be an idiot and try to do it above the 1.0.
Right.
Josh right now is at 22.4 milliliters and his RQ is 0.64. So you can see he's, for this amount of work, he's using 22.4 milliliters of oxygen and he's got a respiratory quotient for hours with no muscle fatigue. But again, he's using more muscle now, spreading the workload out versus when you do circuit, it's high intensity work, not spread out. All right, Josh, start climbing 100 to 120. Now, look at the amount of muscle recruitment he's using now. He's still using way more muscle than what we started with, but it's, again, more total muscle mass than when he was doing the circuit training. His heart, 152.
Heart rate's 152.
Yeah, 152. When Josh reached that 172 heart rate, he was at 1.0. Now, when I push him to get to 1.0 today, we're going to see, well, how much higher can the heart rate work? And if the heart rate can work higher without muscle fatigue, then you put more demand on the circulatory system to prevent heart disease, to be able to have more aerobic strength when you need it. See, that's a big mistake we're making, is even using formulas for target heart rate. It's so outdated, it's embarrassing. So what we're doing on the reactive side of healthcare, learning how to put stents in, keeping people alive longer in a disease state, we're living in the dark ages when it comes to prevention.
So these formulas for heart rates and resting metabolic rates are, you're saying, outdated?
Or useless.
Okay.
Compared to what the technology we have, like we're demonstrating right now.
Okay.
So right now at 29 milliliters, Josh can do this so easily right now, is there's no accumulation of lactic acid. He's at 0.66. He's nowhere near the 1.0. He's 34 points away from 1.0. So where he was failing here doing the push-ups and mountain climbers, to a point he couldn't keep going. No matter how much I screamed, he wasn't going to be able to keep going. Here, he's at almost the same oxygen cost, and he's 0.67. He's nowhere near the 1.0. Seeing the red and blue line, that blue line is Josh blowing off carbon dioxide. Well, the red line is Josh using oxygen. Well, he's nowhere near the point of lactic acid accumulation he was when he was doing the circuit training. All right, Josh, let's start working now. Let's start working 120 to 140. Now look how he uses more mass. He's at a heart rate of 160. Look at his heart rate. Now right now, he's at 30.4 milliliters. 30.4. Now he's matching right now. That's where we were when we were doing the circuit. Now look at the ratio of lactic acid. He's at 0.67. He was at 1.0 when he was doing the circuit. That's why he's not going to fail right now. He's going to be able to continue doing this because he has no accumulation of lactic acid. This is what's going to be amazing for an elite athlete. Josh, start climbing 140 to 160. Somebody who's a couch potato has to appreciate this. Look at the work rate he's doing right now, 140 to 160. Now his oxygen cost for that mechanical work just went up to 33.3. He's at a heart rate right now 170. Now what's important to realize, he's at the same heart rates where here he was failing muscular-wise. Now he's going to be able to sustain this pace for an hour. Josh Tyler in his workouts have sustained this kind of work for over an hour with no muscle fatigue. Well, watch how high his heart rate's going to continue to get as we work on pushing him with more mechanical work. He's right now at 36.4. And 36.4, he's at a 0.70 oxygen cost. Now Josh, let's go 160 to 180. Now again, 160 to 180 is noticeably more work. How come he can sustain it? Because there's no accumulation of lactic acid. So what we're trying to find in this linear endurance movement, it's what's the peak heart rate where he reaches 1.0. When he was doing the push-ups, we had it. Right now, we've got a heart rate of 176, and he's still going up in oxygen cost. He's at 39 milliliters. When he was doing the circuit training, he couldn't sustain it. He's at 41.8. You could see he's at a respiratory quotient of 0.77, which is still nowhere near muscle fatigue. That's why he can sustain it. 42.2, steadily going up. All right, Josh, let me see. 180 to 200, Josh. 180 to 200. He's at 45.7 in oxygen cost. So every time Josh gets more mechanical work put on him, he keeps delivering and using. How can he sustain this? Because lactic acid is not flooding the muscle. Why is that? Because he can utilize it faster than it can accumulate. Where did that come from? Exercise prescription. We weren't doing circuit weight training. We were developing the aerobic energy system. He's right now at 45.7 milliliters. Give me 200 and above, if we can show him going 200. 200 feet and above. Be 200 feet. Now this is a foot rate that an elite athlete has to be elite to sustain. Look at Josh right now, 200 feet a minute. He's at a respiratory quotient of 0.86. He's at a heart rate of 188. Now if he can train at this heart rate without lactic acid accumulation, this will do nothing but strengthen the cardiovascular, the delivery system even more. So a lot of times we don't take elite athletes and train them like elite athletes. We train them off formulas like sedentary people. But even sedentary people living with chronic illness, if they've got a window larger than what the predicted estimates are, we shouldn't be estimating. We don't estimate blood pressure. We don't estimate triglycerides. We don't estimate blood sugar. We tell people what they are, and then we leave them on their own to try to figure out how to develop it. This needs to be talked about so people have an understanding of what work is for physiological change. All right, Josh right now is at 45.9, and he's sustaining 200 feet a minute. You can see his respiratory quotient, here it is, 0.97, 0.99. When this gets to 1.0, Josh Tyler is not going to be able to sustain it.